Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole, hosted by two nationally published Atlanta interior designers, Joanne Kandrak and Kelly Cole. These energetic women are also world travelers, charity givers, and bloggers with a wealth of information to share and stories to tell about the interior design world. Okay, now just a warning, this is going to be fun and not too serious. After all, they still do have an interior design business running at full speed.
Hey everybody, welcome to Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole. This is episode 110, and today our guest is Jill Seale. She's a designer, artist, and author. We're so excited to have such an amazing and talented guest today on the show. We met Jill at a design event sponsored by Designers Today magazine that was in Greensboro, North Carolina at the Proximity Hotel, and that was a couple of years ago. Jill was one of the speakers, and she shared her story of her marbling work and her studies in Florence, Italy. And we'll talk a lot more about that. She had set up an event with tables, trays, paints, and tools for the attendees to do a mini marbling workshop. It was so fun. So Jill, she's an artist, she's a designer, she's an author, and she creates several lifestyle brands. And she's won numerous awards and accolades in the gift and home industry.
From the days at her Washington, D.C. graphic design studio, where an A-list client roster included the White House, oh my gosh, the Kennedy Center, and Paul McCartney, she has delivered commissions that perfectly encapsulate a unique point of view and a tailored brand story of originality. So fast forward to her current studio in Charlotte, North Carolina, where she translates her distinct creativity into home fashions that are inspired by everything from travel and literature to pop culture. Whether partnering with manufacturers for lively gift, tabletop, dinnerware, greeting cards, and more, or creating artisanal-inspired fabrics while covering in-home accents, furniture, and rugs, Jill channels the goal of creating work that uplifts and adds a dash of sparkle.
And there's even more about this amazing artist. Her products are sold worldwide and through fine boutiques, leading retailers, including Target, Hallmark, World Market, Pier 1, Macy's, and Nordstrom. So
that's a big list.
Oh my God. Her creations, they also represent, and we're going to talk about this, a national memorial in the nation's capital. Can't wait to hear about that, as well as her gracing the Paris runway. So her most recent work, and we're going to emphasize this, is the marbling, and it has brought her textiles to a broader range, such as botanicals, watercolor, and graphics. So we're looking forward to a great conversation with her, but before we do, we want to let you know that this episode is sponsored by Sherwin-Williams.
So Sherwin-Williams has a new edition of their paints. It's called the Emerald Designer Edition, and we just want to bring your attention to it. This paint in this collection combines the luxury of smooth, uniform finishes with their best coverage yet. So it comes in 200 brand new colors, including brighter, cleaner whites that we're really excited about, and those are exclusive to this paint line. So it's the perfect choice for giving walls a virtually flawless appearance. So the new colors and white bases, like I said, are only available through the Emerald Designer Edition, and so check them out, Sherwin-Williams.com, or stop by your neighborhood store. And a little heads up, one of our favorite new whites from this collection is Gypsum, which is Sherwin-Williams 9543. And also try a warmer white, Sanctuary is beautiful, Sherwin-Williams 9583. So, hi, Jill.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you? I don't think I've ever had quite an introduction. Like,
I know.
You have a lot. I mean, you have a lot to talk about.
I don't even think Marlo Thomas's bio was that long.
We
chatted with her.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a lot going on, and we absolutely love your work. So we're going to try to give our audience as much insight as we can. So let's just start with, let's go way back. Like, where did you grow up? What was your childhood like?
Well, I grew up in Parkersburg, West Virginia, which, is a mecca for design. Not, but it was good small town upbringing. And then I went to school at WVU, West Virginia, and then moved to Washington, D.C. from there. So I actually went to college for pre-med, which is, I laugh at now because I have no business. You would not want me for your doctor. But you had asked earlier, how did you know you wanted to be an artist? And I always knew I wanted to be an artist, but I knew I had to be an artist when I got an F in Chem 4 on my way to pre-med.
So is there art? Is there art in your background? Because you're so talented in so many ways.
Oh, thank you. We have a whole string of artists in our family. My mom actually studied textile design at the Cleveland Institute of Art, and her father was a dentist, but he did sculpture, and I have artists on my cousins. My cousins are artists, so that just genetically runs through our family.
So I know a lot of this started when you went to live in Italy. Was that like a study abroad thing, or did you go there after college?
Actually, about 5 years ago, a friend of mine, I'd visited Italy before, but a friend of mine said, hey, I'm going to be spending a few months in Italy. Come visit. So I did. And I have always collected marbling, and my mom's china was this gorgeous, kind of a creamy turquoise with silver marbled through it by Sasha Brastoff in the 1950s. That was her china pattern, and I loved it. So I knew that Florence, Italy is a place where marbling is still in full force. And that's probably because it's a good tourist item to pick up and bring home. You can bring home pencils and paper and small things. So I said, I'm not leaving Florence until I try it. And then when I did, it was religion. And then I went back each year for a month and a half to study with masters.
Wow. Well, first of all, can you speak Italian?
No.
I would love to go dive into the Italian culture and park myself for a month or two, but I get intimidated that I can't speak Italian. But I guess they speak a lot. I have been there and spent some time there, so I guess they do speak a lot of English, but still.
This is so crazy. This is so off topic, but I have to tell you because I was laughing so hard. My husband and I were watching an old rerun of Everybody Loves Raymond when they went to Italy, and they were staying with like some long lost grandmother or something, and they were totally speaking Italian. The subtitles were there, but I felt like I totally understood. Like I felt like I could be there, but I can't speak it. I can understand it. So can you at least understand it, Jill?
To some degree, and I'm starting to learn it with my Pimsleur because I feel so embarrassed when I realize I'm at the mercy of everybody who can speak English, and it just feels so selfish. And,
I feel the same way.
So I'd had to get over the fear of trying to speak when I thought, you know what, I'm just going to be hungry if I don't learn some things. You know, you've got to go and figure out how to ask for food. And
yeah.
So what was this training like?
So your way through.
Yeah, true.
So what was the training like? How many people were in the class? Like, what was it like? Was it like a normal classroom, or what was the experience?
It was a one-on-one with an old retired bookbinder who, marbling is a bookbinding art, so you'll find a lot of bookbinders also are marblers. And he didn't speak any English, and I don't speak any Italian, and we just spoke this language of beauty.
Charades.
And, artists can find their ways to communicate. But I would just do intensive workshops to really learn how the paints behave, to learn the chemistry of it, and then what the classical patterns are and the kind of colors that are used. Traditionally, in Italian marbling, you'll find more of an earth color palette.
Yes. More of the golds and the, yeah.
Yeah, so they just kind of look to the countryside to find their colors. And I look to whatever I feel like, and that's a little bit of, one of the things that I did get while spending time in Italy was that they let art take the time it takes to be what it is. Like, we live in such a manufactured, quick hit world in the U.S., but there the arts are celebrated very differently. And one thing that I discovered also, which was an important feature for me going forward with marbling, is that in every discipline, whether it was marbling or ceramics or mosaic or leather, these family-owned businesses that were generations old, the youngest generation would take this time-honored craft and they'd bring their contemporary expression to it. And so I thought, okay, I can be liberated to have my own creative dialogue with this process and take it wherever I want it to go and bring it into a new generation. So I'm not butchering it, but I'm actually bringing it forward.
I think that's so amazing, that perspective. And I'm thinking to myself, for anybody listening and you're going, what's marbling? I don't really even know what they're talking about. I think the example of the old book is very easy to understand. You know, if you imagine old books and they had that swirl of paint on them, kind of a lot of greens, you saw them in burgundies and blues, and that's kind of what we're talking about. Now, when we all met together at the Designer Today event a couple years ago, when we first met Jill, she did kind of a DIY fun project and we all dug in, and she had these trays laid out for us and all these different paints, and she taught us with different tools and fun things how to drag whatever instrument we chose through the paint and watch these designs and these beautiful marbling patterns come to life. And then we took pieces of paper and we laid them down in the tray of the paint that we had just kind of swirled and made crazy designs out of, and then slowly lifted them up, let them dry, and then, you know, they were so beautiful. So,
and no two are ever alike.
No,
because
it was great.
You can splatter and you can do whatever, and then the colors. But Jill, you have taken this to a whole, from just having that tray to then be able to do fabrics and all that you're doing. How did it go from learning it and doing it in that little tray to like what you've got now?
Well, I remember, I can tell you the spot on the planet I was standing when I realized, oh my gosh, this is my voice in textiles. I had always wanted to be in textiles, but never felt like I had anything original to say. So I went to the very next high point and just to look and see, is anybody else doing this already? Am I just way behind? And I didn't see one marbled thing.
Yeah, I was going to say that would be a no.
Yeah. Well, so I just said, it's right now. It's right now. I have to do this. And I told my husband, listen, you don't have to like what I'm about to tell you, but you have to go along with it or just be quiet. So I said, I'm getting 100 pillows and I'm going to High Point and I'm just going to see what happens. I'm feeling it big. And I've hit a few home runs in my life, and this felt like a home run. So I just did it, and I'm glad I did because it has been received like I'd hoped.
So did you collaborate with somebody for that first High Point experience? Or where were you showing?
I just showed in the suites at Market Square.
Yeah.
And they, would put the new vendors up on the top floor with, hardware and rugs and things that are not really compatible. But I thought, okay, I'm just going to start. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to start and see where it wants to go. And
that's
then
a good lesson for people. That's a really good lesson for people.
Yeah, you were brave. You just dove in. You felt like it was that was your time.
You were brave and did it. Yeah.
Yeah, and luckily I got placed in a good spot too. It was right as people would run past to go see which luminary was speaking at the. They have people on stage, and I don't know. It worked, and so who knows? By dumb luck, it just worked, and half my life is just dumb luck. But then I recognize it and run with it. But my first collaboration in textiles was with Wesley Hall Furniture. I'd met them through somebody who said, you know what, you need to go talk to them, and that just worked. And the first design that got on furniture was my Tuscan Sunset design, which was actually created in Florence. So it was a little full circle.
That makes sense because Wesley Hall does have such beautiful, beautiful fabrics.
So then how in the world did you get work done for the Capitol, and what was that?
Okay. So again, when it's a little bit of dumb luck, and it's just being in the path of projects. When I was in Washington, I was purely doing graphic design in Washington, which was my college degree. And I worked for an events company and did a ton of events work. And but this company had an opportunity to do the logo for the Women in Military Service for America Memorial. And this is for all women in any branch of the military. If you have been in or know someone who's been in the military, they could be registered at this memorial. And this is located at the gateway to Arlington Cemetery. So if you're standing at the back side of the Lincoln Memorial, looking across the bridge over to Arlington Cemetery, that building you see at the very end is a hemicycle building. And President Reagan donated that building to the Women in Military Service for America Memorial and said, we're donating the building, and that's all you get. There's no funding. So they would raffle off houses, and, you know, it's typical for female how, you know, we'll give you this much, but then you have to do the rest. You know, I remember being in sports in high school, and they were like, you guys have to clean the stadium to get money for your athletics. It's the same kind of thing, but they did it, and it's beautiful. And if you're ever in Washington, it's worth seeing because it's a gorgeous building. They've done a beautiful job with it, and it honors the female women who've been in the military service. So I was lucky enough to be able to submit designs and work with Brigadier General Wilma Vaught, and they still use it today. So I'm very honored to still have that there, and it's just one of my treasures of my career to have done that.
That is so great. I love how we talk a lot about on our show about just careers evolving and taking courageous leaps of faith. And I love that, you know, the marbling that you're doing now and all that's happening with that was kind of has been an extension of where you were already, you know, you were doing graphic design out of college, and then you're doing other art and now this from just 5 years ago. So it's great to
growing.
See how careers and how your skill is still getting better and better.
Oh, thank you very much. I think one of the favorite things about being in the arts is that it kind of lets me go wherever I want, because you need art in all different circumstances. And I get to learn a lot about other people's businesses and industries, and I can have a lot of creative freedom on my own and explore and design whatever my muse is. So I really love the freedom that comes with being in this career, and I love being able to learn about other people's industries and businesses.
Yeah.
You know that old song by John Denver? He says, "This old guitar."
Yes.
You know, the places that his guitar took him. That's how I feel. I mean, I've met world leaders and done crazy things. Been on Paris runway. I haven't been on the Paris runway, but my designs have, and it's just crazy to me. But it's I think what makes it most exciting to me.
Absolutely. So I was wondering, at this point, what's your favorite thing about what you do right now, besides what you just said, meeting incredible creatives and being inspired all the time?
I think it's being able to engage in the home industry. And this is, you know, I'm kind of new to the home industry, just 4 or 5 years in. And I find this industry to be different than anywhere I've been in that, and I have a theory.
Okay.
That I've never been in an industry where people tell each other they love each other. Like clients. And I think it's because we're all in the home industry and we want it to be beautiful and nice, and we want life to be good, and that extends into our everyday life. And
we don't think about it. Yeah, because we're in it. But yeah, I think our industry, there's a lot.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that right, we hug when we see each other, and we're so excited and love to help each other out. So
and the girl power is huge.
Yeah, the girl power is huge.
It really is, and so I'm loving being in this industry for those reasons. But it's just fun. I mean, maybe all this sickness of collecting magazines and foreign magazines and tearing out all the home stuff. I should have known 30 years ago that this is where I belonged.
Well, I have to tell everybody. So we walked into, when we were at High Point in just recently in June, we walked into the Norwalk furniture showroom, and there is Jill's fabric on these chairs, this black and white fabric that was to die for. But not only was it on the chairs, she had made a dress out of it as well. And I have to say, I was looking at your post last night, I think it was Facebook, of your dresses, and I'm showing them to my husband. I'm like, oh my God, okay, I have to have one of these. Which pattern do you like the best? And I think there was like 9, and he's like, oh, that one, oh, but that one, oh, but that one too, oh, and I'm like, oh gosh, you're not helping me. He's like, right, order a couple of them. I'm like,
so the fact that you're like doing these dresses now too, like if you go to Jill's website, okay, so it's jillseale.com, there's quite a few things. So there's textiles, there's pillows, there's wall coverings, there's some tabletop, stationery, masks. And then are these dresses going to be on the site soon?
They will be.
Oh my God.
But right now I just have them on my Instagram is like a live website, you can just go on.
Yeah, maybe I guess that's where I saw it was Insta. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, we'll talk after the show. I have to place my order. But
all right, you just give me your husband's credit card number and
yeah.
Well, I'll go to town for you.
Oh yeah, honey. Don't worry about that. I also have, thank God for Jill, because when COVID struck and I'm scrolling Instagram, I ordered 4 of her masks, and they were all in her designs, and they were so soft, and they're still hanging on a little hook by the front door. I hope I never have to wear them again, but I'm glad I have them.
If not, you can cut them apart and sew them into a little pillow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the other thing, Jill, that you do is you have like a lot of collaborations, and you've got some new ones coming up and some new events coming up. So Port 68, which is a trade-only company that Kelly and I have bought from before.
Lighting mostly, but a mix of stuff.
Yeah, they have a good mix of stuff. So Jill's going to be at an event there for the Atlanta market, which you'll be there on July 17th at the Port 68 showroom.
Saturday.
So you're going to do, like one of those marbling experiences there.
From 10 to 12, and then people can watch, or you can belly up to the tray, and I'll show you how to do it. And it's just a lot of fun to share it. And when you see it live in action, it kind of
and the couple of products that you have now with them. So you have a couple of upholstered pieces, and then those framed original silks in those acrylic frames are so beautiful.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks. So awesome. we landed on 4 different designs, and then we've got 4 different fabrics that they have upholstered mirrors, and they have upholstered seating, like their benches, and all different kinds of legs and materials on their benches, so you can really put together something unique.
Yeah, and then Norwalk, I know that they've always been known for their beautiful fabrics. Caroline Hipple, who's the president, she does such a great job with the fabrics, and one of the reasons that we really wanted to carry that line. And so you have, about 20 fabrics with them?
I think about 20. I suppose I ought to know exactly. My art brain is not my left brain. But Norwalk really dials into artisan and what's happening in the world and what people are creating. And so they've really tuned in to artisan fabrics. And so I've been lucky enough to work with them and create some things that are custom to them, which is really
We have a couple of your samples hanging right here in our office.
Yes, we do.
And we just used one in a model home that we did. Yeah,
we did. Yeah. So that event, or the new showroom's opening for everybody, and on July 15th from 3 to 6, Joanne and I will be interviewed by Jane Dagme of Designers Today magazine, talking all about our secret sauce. So if you're a designer and you're near Atlanta and you want to come and be there for the Norwalk Furniture, the new showroom opening.
And you'll be there, Jill, right?
Yes, of course. I'm coming actually a day early because I wouldn't miss it.
Yay. So
I think I hear cocktails being planned soon.
So now, you got a little secret of your own. So you have a few little new products and collaborations that are coming to Fall Hyde Park Market. And I always know there's always we can't talk about this right now. There's some top secret stuff. So will we have to wait till High Point Market for the top secret stuff?
Isn't that obnoxious?
Yes.
But there are some that are, they're too early to know if they're going to work out right. But I'm working with a couple different one that I can share, and that's probably not going to be until spring market. Do you know the antiques diva Tama Clark Haynes?
Oh God, yes.
Of course.
I spent time with her in Venice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Well, how wonderful is she? And she is a Renaissance woman. She's got so many different talents and such a unique energy. She's done these beautiful, beguiling little watercolors of what's around her in Venice. And I said, we've got to do so we're doing some fabrics together. And they'll be in my line, and they'll be her designs. And so that's one I can talk about, but that probably won't be until spring.
Yeah,
and then some other are just a little too soon, but always something in the works.
Well, that'll be a great one. Yeah. I still revel in Tama's narratives during COVID, all that she posted on Facebook while she was locked down in Italy for that year. And she's got a brilliant writing style, and I think any collaboration she does would be fantastic.
Yeah.
So,
all right, so we have something very exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jill is graciously giving away a hand marbled 55-inch square poly silk hand scarf, sort of beach wrap. So for a chance to win this, you got to on Instagram. You got to follow at Jill Seale,
and you spell her last name Seale.
Yep, and Kandrak Cole if you're not already. And what we're going to do is we're going to post a picture of Jill holding this beautiful scarf on Instagram, and you need to comment on the photo. And we will pick a lucky winner.
Woohoo!
Woo.
So let's see. Yeah, so we record a little early. So as soon as that hits,
on that day, the day that this
hits
the airwaves, it'll be there, and we will let everybody know who the winner is.
Mm-hmm. So we just want you guys to really watch out for our friend Jill and all that she's doing, and just a reminder to follow her. And look at her website, JillSeale, SEALE.com, for all that she's doing right now.
Yay.
We're thrilled.
All right. Well, it's time for our quotes. So hang with us for a minute, Jill, okay?
Okay.
Here's the funny quote. Here's a pro tip. Yell out exactly what you want for your birthday near your partner's cell phone, and just wait for Instagram to send the ads their way.
That is so true. I'm serious.
True, but scary.
I'm serious. I was talking about Hudson Grace the other day on the podcast, and then my friend was asking about the dish soaps that I was, and then of course my Facebook feed was all about Hudson Grace. I'm like, I don't know when you were listening, but it's scary. It's scary. All right. Serious quote. Stick to the things you really love. An honest room is always in style. And that's Billy Baldwin.
Isn't that the truth?
It is so the truth. And I feel like it's if you have in your home the things that you love and the things that make you happy, A, they will all come together and flow, and B, they are timeless. Yep. And that's honest style. Mm-hmm. All right, Jill, you made it. We're done. That was fantastic. So
thank you guys so much for having me, and just the energy and the joy that you bring to the industry is palpable, and I'm honored to have been on your podcast. Thank you.
Thank you. We were honored to have you.
Yeah. All right, everybody. That's it for now. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Join Joanne and Kelly weekly for a lively conversation about trends, travels to industry events, current design projects, the good, the bad, and the ugly, do's and don'ts, product recommendations, and more. Be sure to follow the fun on Facebook. They're on Instagram at Kandrak Cole, and of course, you've got to visit them online at kandrak-cole.com for more information.